The Story of Pootis Mann 5, The Lohst Tresher ohf Ahl Potaitoe. Our story begins, as Pootis Mann rests his whale-sized arse on his sofa, while watching a classic 1920s film in his brand new TV. This underrated classic was one of the pioneers of the adventure genre during the silent era. It even won a Best Film of the Year award, but not that many people saw it, unfortunately. Suddenly, Pootis Mann's internet connection died and the film stopped streaming. This is one of the reasons why Josh Griffin still buys physical copies of DVDs and games. Pootis Mann waddled over to his router and unplugged the cable and then plugged it back in. It's amazing how some internet providers don't allow their customers to use third-party routers to boost their internet connection. It's bloody stupid, if you ask Josh. After 2,824 hours of waiting, Pootis Mann was able to use the internet again. However, instead of finishing off watching the film, Pootis Mann decided to play some Bloodborne on his PS4. That game doesn't require an internet connection, you amazingly idiotic fucking twat. While this brainless spooky scary skeleton wrapped in flesh and blood was playing his game, a complete footman tossed a briefcase through his window. I don't think all of these blows to the head will do him any good. But seriously, what does everyone have against Pootis Mann's windows? Have they ever heard of a bloody door? After finally waking up from his slumber, Pootis Mann noticed a briefcase in the floor. It's not literally in the floor, of course, but I can't pronounce on properly, as you've probably known since the first episode. Pootis Mann picked up the briefcase and took it upstairs with him for further inspection. He placed it on his computer desk and opened it up. Its contents were quite surprising. The first thing Pootis Mann discovered in the briefcase was a detailed note from the previous owner. He picked up the note and started reading it. It said,
"Greetings, my fellow reader. If you're reading this, then I'm very dead and you're probably wondering who the dickens I am. To put it short, I'm one of the most famous explorers of all time, Christopher Unicorn Dart. Right now you must be thinking, why has this famous and handsome explorer given me this briefcase? Well, I have trusted you to carry out my final adventure through the uncharted lands of the world. You see, I have discovered one of the rarest treasures that's yet to be discovered. The Tresher ohf Ahl Potaitoe. Here in this briefcase, you'll find all of the necessary equipment you'll need to find the treasure. Good luck, you lucky son of a bitch."
Well, that was highly unexpected. To think that a famous explorer would give a complete imbecile the task of finding one of the rarest treasures yet to be found just sounds very odd. However, these are very strange times. Pootis Mann grabbed his rucksack and shoved all of the contents of the briefcase inside. He then went downstairs and jumped through his already smashed window. Instead of catching the bus or going to the teleport, Pootis Mann thought he'd give his brand new toy a try. He calls it the Pooticopter. Pootis Mann climbed into the Pooticopter and turned in the engine. Oh, did I mention that the whole vehicle was made by him? Yep. What could possibly go wrong? Pootis Mann put his foot down in the ascent pedal and the Pooticopter took off. He then started heading southeast. Will Pootis Mann make it to his destination alive? Will he uncover the long-lost treasure of Ahl Potaitoe? Tune in right now to see what happens next. Hamada. Fooled you. You thought that this episode would end right here and continue on through a second part? No, that's not how I roll, baby. We only do full episodes in this YouTube channel. Josh Griffin, cutting the bullshit since 2006. After several hours of flying, Pootis Mann finally arrived at his destination in one piece. He landed in a strange jungle in what could possibly be Sri Lanka. Pootis Mann opened up his rucksack and took out a map. Fortunately, he landed in the correct area and the treasure isn't far from where he's currently standing. He then started bobbing along the forest floor and made his way towards the location of the treasure. Hoot! What was that sound? Why did that sound so robotic? Oh wait, never mind. Suddenly, an owl leaped from one of the trees above Pootis Mann and landed right in front of him. He then screeched a rather nasty "Bugger!" However, this didn't scare Pootis Mann one bit. He clenched his fists and punched the owl right in the chops and it flew back and crashed into a rock, instantly killing it. Pootis Mann waddled up to the corpse and ripped its head clean off. He then stored it in his rucksack so he can take it home and keep it as a trophy. After being dragged by a very visible Fiskin for miles, Pootis Mann found a rather strange looking hole in the wall, and I don't mean a cash machine. All he could see in the hole was complete darkness, much like David Cameron's soul. He made his way into the hole that was designed for real humans instead of fat Russian bastards. After eventually reaching the end of the dark tunnel, Pootis Mann fell down some stairs. He then got up and started making his way through this strange place. What's this now? Looks like Pootis Mann stumbled upon his first trial. Don't fall down the pit. Sounds simple enough, doesn't it? After 10 long takes, Pootis Mann made it across the pit. After surviving the last two trials, Pootis Mann made his way through an unnecessarily long corridor. Hey, this episode doesn't have to be stupidly long, does it? Well, this is the moment we've all been waiting for, if you're still watching, that is. Looks like Pootis Mann has made it to the treasure room in one piece. Oh my amazing god, it's beautiful. This claymore sword as well as the golden bars must be worth millions. Pootis Mann walked up to the treasure and picked up two of the golden bars. He couldn't believe his dirt eyes. He placed the two golden bars in his rucksack and reached for the sword. Oh no, it was a trap. Quickly, Pootis Mann. Get out of there. Pootis Mann ran out of the tomb just in time to see it collapse. Well, that was a shitty way of showing an entire tomb collapsing, but there you go. Pootis Mann shed a tear, knowing that he'll never see that magnificent sword ever again, but at least he picked up those two golden bars from earlier. Pootis Mann made his way to the helicopter with a frown in his face. He then made his way back home. Pootis Mann made it back home in one piece, but he couldn't get over the fact that no one will be able to see the long-lost treasure of Ahl Potaitoe ever again. He took the golden bars out of his rucksack as well as the head of the owl. He placed the head next to his gun and diametral trophies, while leaving the golden bars in his bookshelf. Before going to bed, Pootis Mann went downstairs to finish off watching the classic film from earlier. Will Pootis Mann be able to find anything more valuable in the near future? Who knows? If there's one thing we all know about him for sure, it's that nothing can stop him from achieving his goals. Always aim high, and be proud of your accomplishments in life so far. The end.